Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
It's a show where we take 3 comics united under a theme and then talk about which one's the good, the bad, and the ugly. We also recap the stories for you so that you don't have to read them if you don't want to, but I highly recommend it because it helps make it a really immersive experience. This theme is weddings in comics. This one's Superman, The Wedding Album, #1, The New Titans, #100, and the new Avengers Annual #1. Certainly we have run the gamut of 3 very different wedding stories, and from 3 distinctly different periods in comics, I guess. Really, the 2 DC ones are kind of from the same era. They're cut from the same cloth, but
4 or 5 years apart, right?
a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Different stuff going on.
So we're going to jump into the wedding of Superman and Lois Lane, Dick Grayson and Coriander, and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
Her name's Coriander, like the spice.
But with a K, like Mortal Kombat.
And with an apostrophe,
Totally different
like
than
Sean
Spice
Jones.
Ben.
Yeah, it's not like the writer who created her was like, oh, I just wanted to be named after
He's
the
like,
spice.
I've never heard of Coriander before. What an exotic sounding name.
Oh,
It's better than cinnamon.
Anyway,
With an S.
yeah.
Okay, her middle name's Toast, and her last name's Crunch.
You've done it. You've won the night.
Yes.
Tiffany.
Good job.
Hey, you've done it. But we can hear all about more of that after Ben tells us about the new Titans.
Hooray.
Take us away.
You know what's
Starting off
funny?
with
I'm
a
glad
goodie.
that happened because I was pretty sure I was going to get that because of the Doom Patrol references to it.
Yeah, there's a couple of Doom Patrol references. Well, here's the thing. With the good, the bad, and the ugly, Ben is on the hook for telling us what happened. But we all read all the books. So we can all jump in and pitch in when we need to on every book we do. So, you're not alone when we cover New Teen Titans.
Yeah, but I am, because this book is garbage.
Well, we're all in the same boat, okay?
But we will leave it to you.
Here's the
when
thing. We all
have
had to
nothing
read
say.
it, so we all had to read
Exactly.
The
We all had
moments
to
where
read
we're left
this.
speechless, which will happen several times, is up to you, Ben.
Yes. So please,
right.
who did it and why?
it. Who dealt it?
Who did the deed?
Yes, who dealt? Who dealt it?
Well, apparently a lot of people. Marv Wolfman, Bill Jaska, Rob Lee, John Stateman, Adrian Roy, Kerry Kowalski, Tom Grummett, Al Vey, Steve George, John Costanza, Frank Petarsi, and Rob Simpson. Who did what? I have no idea. That's just the list of names that they give us.
Yeah, well, they're the ones who are cordially invited.
That's their one place card. They all
And
just
indeed-
sit in one seat.
And us as well.
So the prologue is Changeling under the water drowning and being saved by somebody.
Hey, by the way, if you're not a Doom Patrol or early DC fan, that's Beast Boy.
Yeah. Beast Boy's original name was Changeling.
Yeah, because in this story they keep calling him Changeling, and I'm like, you mean Beast Boy?
Because he looks like Beast Boy to me.
Yeah.
And when he says I couldn't change into other characters, I'm like, oh, like Beast Boy.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
I thought a manta ray was giving him mouth to mouth.
It is.
You mean because it's drawn that way? Is that what's happening?
It looks like it.
Dick and Coriander come into the mansion that they're all living at, and is like, oh man, guys, we have something to tell you. But no one's there until everyone shows up. Because they apparently got beaten in a fight.
Yeah.
And there's a giant monster, which is called Baby.
It transforms into a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a baby that transformed into a monster. Unless that's
whatever.
the same thing.
And
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I
Who's
mean,
to say?
6 and 1.
If you're big and then you become a baby, did you not transform?
Yeah.
I just assumed its natural form was the baby.
It doesn't
until it
matter.
became That thing. And then a she-cat person, and some Russians, I guess, because it's important that they're Russian.
Why are they late?
Everybody's
Whoa, hang on. Just right here. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
And then Changing and Aqualad come in. It was Aqualad who got him saved, which really makes sense as to why Manta Ray was giving Changeling mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
Even though they don't breathe air.
But they can gulp it.
They breathe air, but they don't breathe air.
From the
They don't really breathe it. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So
I mean, you're wrong, but
everyone's having a terrible time and talking about how they got their butts kicked.
Yep.
And then Starfire is basically saying, I don't think we should break the news that we're getting married to everybody. And Dick is like, no, we totally
it's a
have
perfect
to.
time.
This'll make everyone forget about their woes
the only
and
thing
celebrate.
that contextualizes it is that after they mention the fact that when Changeling thought he was going to die, his mother, Elastigirl,
Yes.
showed up, and like his dad's there, and is like, no way.
Nope,
No.
she did not
Wasn't
make
her.
it.
And like they mentioned Robot Man and Niles Calder, and that the explosion like vaporized everybody except for them, and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So it's just like they're like,
It's like, oh, a way more fun story might have been taking place before this issue.
yep.
And it just gets noped away.
Yep.
I don't know what you saw, but it wasn't that.
Yeah,
No,
but this is the second of, I don't know, 100 moments where Dick Grayson acts completely out of character and is a complete psycho. Because in the beginning of the book, he's like, hey, me and Corey have some good news. Hey, does anybody listening to me? And it's like, okay, and then they show up and they're like, oh no, we got our what's good. And she's like, hey, Dick, maybe we should friggin' simmer down. He's like, no, it's a perfect time. It's a perfect time. We're getting married, everybody. We're getting married. And everyone's like, oh.
I have to say it. I have to say it right now.
Yeah. Also, he's like really weirdly drawn in the series. Like
Everyone is.
everybody looks weird, but Dick Grayson looks like someone punched him from every angle.
Well, it looks like his face is made of putty.
Yeah, he looks like he's made from Tommy Wiseau.
So
And he's supposed to be
got
like
that
19 or
face.
20.
Right.
And he looks
then
like he's
this
40.
face.
He looks like he ages every other panel. Anyway, so
Yeah.
he announces that they're gonna get married.
Yeah.
And
it
there
was
are
like, the looks of their faces are amazing.
Yeah. What?
There are these bizarre, like, light shard crystal things outside that are listening in.
Yeah.
This is their soaps.
So they're talking to each other, and they're like, "Oh, they have the cyborg inside. We should attack them." I was like, "No, we need one more. He has to be summoned." But then I can just imagine being like, "No, we can't attack them right now. They just announced that they're getting married.
It would be totally uncouth.
That would be such a faux pas. We're not monsters like Dick Grayson."
Where is Cyborg? They mentioned Cyborg. Which one of these
No.
is Cyborg?
No, they say a
There's a
cyborg.
cyborg.
Oh.
But which one that is, I have no idea.
Because any of them could be.
Yeah. Because
Dun,
none of them have
dun,
obvious.
dun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Is
see.
that what we're doing here?
Nah. So then Dick
So-
and Corey go get their marriage license.
Yep, and the guy at the office is giving them a hard time because she's an alien
Right.
You know, she's not
For
a
like-
citizen.
Yeah.
a blood test, apparently.
Yeah. And then Dick just threatens to punch him until they give it to him.
So
Yep.
I have a question. How many days does this story take place
But
over?
I think I want to believe it's one day. Like it's the same day.
Like they decide to get married and it's happening in the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta go to City Hall.
I'm
and I gotta
sure
get
it's
the marriage
not, but I
license.
really do feel like it happened at like 8 a.m. And then they went to City Hall, so it's like 10:30. And then at like 3 or 4 p.m., they're setting up the chairs, getting ready to have their wedding.
Right.
Well, here's my question.
It is very
How
rushed.
did the angry mob know to picket outside their car?
Well, you know how like
and say,
one person saw
humans don't
Starfire
marry
go in
aliens?
there. Well, they had to get their signs ready. That's like that's the most egregious part is that they have pre-made signs.
Yeah.
But I imagine like one person saw her go in there, and then he called all of his racist friends, and they all showed up. You know how like a flash mob can get started.
That's the only part of the book that makes me think maybe it's a couple weeks
Right. Except
Yeah.
past.
Except
because
somehow-
like word got out.
Right, except in that amount of time, Dick would have found out that Nightfall happened.
Yeah. Yeah, because
yeah.
he's totally caught off guard.
Especially since he's in it.
You mean this book doesn't pay attention to the other stories going on around
It's
it?
really weird that it wouldn't because it keeps referring to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
they do get their marriage license.
They get their marriage license.
Corey's like-
Starfire is
he
really
beats it out of
upset.
them.
Yeah.
Because the people are suddenly really angry with her.
And she's like,
Yeah.
maybe we should just
delay.
Yeah, we need to take this as a
Take a
sign that we
minute.
should. Yeah.
No! Those people are idiots. We're getting married.
He's like,
that's a
look,
good
we're
point.
young, we've got time. And he's like, no, I am having sex with you.
She's like, we could just have sex right now. It's
No,
okay."
we have to be married. Wait, we can?
Because he's
so
no.
getting
They have
married.
had sex
No,
a
they've
lot.
been yeah. Yeah. No, I need a piece of paper
That says it's
that
cool.
says
I need a piece of paper that says you can only have sex with me.
that binds you to me.
Right.
It's just not going well. It's
not going well.
Everything's
Mess.
set up. Flowers aren't working right.
This is why I think it happens in a day. Because it's like,
No,
well, we
there's
got
no way-
flowers.
Because this chick like made this dress for her.
Right, she made it. Well, I thought maybe her magic powers would be the ability to make dresses. Like,
No, she's just a
no,
seamstress.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
She talks
just-
about how hard it was to find a dress
She's
that
just
fit her.
bibbity bobbity boozer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, they're just completely disorganized for no reason.
in the beginning of them setting this up, which apparently like from this to the actual marriage, I think is one day.
That is definitely.
oh, that's
one.
I think there
definitely
was
yeah.
setup,
This is the
but-
day of.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, you're right.
But apparently, this is when Dick calls Alfred and finds out that Bruce isn't coming.
Yeah, because he's friggin' paralyzed.
Well, maybe he invited him, and then Nightfall happened.
Yeah.
I never heard about
what
it.
happened in between.
Yeah, because Batman was so friggin' busy fighting all of his villains and then being attacked by like a bemuscled
That he
lunatic.
forgot to RSVP.
Yeah.
What do you mean he's not coming?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that like retcon moment in Nightfall where Bane's like going through Wayne Manor waiting to get him, and he sees the invitation on the desk. He's like, "Oh,
And he
he's not
crumbles
making it to
and
that.
he puts it in the garbage.
Truly, I'm a mastermind of revenge."
You see Coriander getting into her dress.
Which is stunning.
It's terrible.
It's a fine dress.
It's not
bad. It's
funny
great.
because like her whole aesthetic is that she wears really revealing clothing, and I'm not saying that because I'm like disappointed she's not wearing revealing clothing. I'm saying it's like that's her character. Her character is like really unabashed.
Yeah.
She's a huge exhibitionist. So like for her to wear this like head to toe covered outfit, like from the wrist down, is really like weird and out of character, which actually I think really works thematically for the story. Like even she looks like she's uncomfortable.
Yeah. She's like, everything's wrong.
Yep.
What's amazing is that the seamstress says, like, I was nervous about creating this dress because I've never made one for someone so tall. The models are usually shorter. And skinny as spaghetti.
We're making fun of models, because like they're-
Well,
But
she's
that's
what
also,
she is.
No, but she's got curves.
She has curves, she's taller.
That's what
meat
it
on the
is.
bones.
And like, for a woman to say that in front of the person who's putting on the dress is like, that's kind of
Right.
an
No,
insult.
but she's Starfire, so she could just be like, "Thank you."
Yeah, because
she-
Starfire, she's like Drax. She takes it very literally. She's like, yes, some models are like shorter than me and thinner than me. I am not short or thin.
Thank
you.
That is accurate.
Those things you said were facts. Yeah.
By the
Instead
way,
of brooding over
the
it.
fact that Dick doesn't call the wedding off when Bruce can't be there, I'm like,
Yeah, that's...
But
Dude,
Alfred can make it, so we're
it's
fine.
a sign.
No, Tim and Alfred can make it. We're good.
Anyway.
I was like, Bruce, hey, I know you got copped up on all the drugs, but like,
No, he just waits. He just gives him a little more like Demerol and then leaves.
Don't worry, I got this.
Yeah.
I'll put on the Batman costume that I normally wear
Yeah.
in the 66 show. I'll pretend to be you. Dick won't even know.
no, I was thinking like Alfred just gets to go out. He's like,
I'm going out, and I'm not driving a van or picking anyone up.
Oh, and Alfred, as long as you're doing that, could you chauffeur everyone around? Damn it!
I
I
like
know
that.
how much you love it.
But Dick calls Batman like right before the wedding. He's like, "Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, so,
I haven't heard back from you." Like, no, call him like
And
a
he's
day
not
or-
even speaking to Bruce himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
it's very weird.
Anyway,
He would have sorted that out.
Starfire asks
days before.
Donna, I assume it's Donna.
It's Donna.
Yeah. She asks Donna if she's doing the right thing. And Donna's like, well,
No.
No.
here's the problem.
She almost straight up tells her no.
Yeah. It's like, well, I agree you should get married,
But like, not right now.
but like now it's really weird.
But
Yeah. This whole thing's really weird. I'm not getting a good vibe.
Starfire is on board when she says, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, everyone's really on tense, and like, people are looking at me weird, and
Yeah.
like, I feel like this is off. And she's like, and Donna's like, no, you are feeling the exact right thing.
you are
Something
correct.
is
it's
wrong.
literally Donna's just like, oh, thank God, I didn't
Oh,
want
I'm
to.
glad.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
have that
Do you
conversation.
guys think I should marry this chick or? Oh my God! Thank you for
glad you did
saying
it.
so. No.
But except instead of like not marrying Dick, it's like, no, this is not the right time. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it and not one of us.
Exactly.
Everything's
I didn't
wrong.
Now
want
it's
to ruin
okay
your
for us to
wedding.
talk about because you said it.
Yeah.
So
That's how it works.
they're getting things set up, and Dick is freaking out about how there's a baby in the way. Let's get this wedding started.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing comes in that conversation. She's just like,
Nope.
but I mean, I already have the dress, so.
So we're
Yeah.
doing it.
Marty,
They
in it.
act like there's no problem.
Yeah.
Like they go from like everything's a mess and I don't know if we
Yeah.
should do this too, and the wedding's happening.
Yes.
By the way, there are guests here, people we don't even know.
Yeah. People we haven't been introduced to are happening. I mean, Alfred and Tim arrived.
Yep.
They're there. It's almost like someone possessed Dick Grayson's body because they desperately want to bang Starfire, and they just want to seal the deal 1st. It's like we gotta get it. It's happening.
Here's the thing, it's not a guarantee. Unless I marry her. Then it's the
Right.
wedding night.
Then
it
I
has to
know.
happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like she might not be in the mood. I got to make sure it happens. It happens now. So
Anyway, there's this whole thing with the person that they get to do the
Efficient.
vows, the
Yeah.
efficient.
yeah.
And it's not like the standard kind of wedding vows. It's very interpreted. It's almost new age in a way. The
It's like
stuff that he
custom
says.
vows.
Yeah. But I mean, he uses like standard Bible passages.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that's true.
the
He uses the
Corinthians.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
he
it's
uses
close to
Corinthians.
coriander.
But that sucks. Like this guy who is not doing a standard wedding thing is just like, and now to speak from Corinthians about how love is.
That's
That's what they do.
And then she's like, now he's to speak from the book of, was it Nahal or what is what is her?
Yeah. Oh, Tamarin.
No, but like she mentions like their god or
Yes,
whatever
that's
at one
right,
point.
you're
I
right,
don't
good
remember.
point.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
and they have their own vows a little bit,
Yeah.
and then the preacher's just like, that's great, yeah, this is the power of love, and we're bringing you guys together, and I'm delighted to announce you, Dick and Corey, husband and...
And he gets vaporized.
No,
and
that's
turns
just,
into a
this is just
skeleton.
the standard part of a wedding ceremony where the minister becomes a skeleton.
Yes. That's the power of God who's
Yeah.
like announcing the wedding
that's
is official.
the Tamaranian part of it.
This is why it's so hard to find efficients.
Yeah, they keep getting vaporized. And they totally ruin this reveal because, like,
It's not like
they're
you turn
giving
the
their
page.
vows on the left page, and on the
he's
right
exploding.
page, there's an unmistakable splash image of a guy turned into a skeleton, so you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just put this on the previous page so you could turn the page?
Because
then
I'm
I have
really
to-
bad at planning out.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, like like Dick Grayson, they're very bad planners.
Pacing
Yeah.
But
doesn't exist.
the people ruin the wedding by killing the officiant.
Yeah, which is like, why?
Instead of attacking the people whose wedding it is.
Because they stopped the wedding. Now it can't happen. They can't make
Right.
it
Oh yeah,
official.
because I didn't say the last word wife.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I pronounce you husband and. Oh, you know what? You're no longer. It's husband and.
And what?
It's just husband and.
That's right. I didn't
No, but
seal the deal.
they already signed everything before.
No.
that's the. No, if he didn't say it, it's not official.
Yep.
Oh, guess what? It's
Now it gets-
Raven.
Hey, Raven. I remember
You know what's
Raven.
really funny? The cover. Is it the cover?
Yeah.
Is it the cover? Yeah. I was like, oh, it's Blackfire.
Right. She ruins the wedding. It makes sense.
That makes sense. Of course,
Yeah.
it'd be Blackfire.
No, it's sexed up Raven.
Oh, right, because Raven's dead and her soul is evil.
Yup. Right? You remember that time?
And you know how she's just so angry at Starfire and Nightwing being together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently.
So angry she brings in a cadre of unmistakably hilarious looking characters like
Skull people.
evil Nightwing or
Yeah.
whatever.
There's an evil Nightwing here.
Yeah.
But don't worry. Suddenly, everyone is in their superhero costume.
Immediately.
Like,
They went from tuxes and stuff to.
Like Tim Drake is a person, a human being. He's wearing a tuxedo, one of the most notoriously difficult pieces of clothing to take off a man, and he was like, and he put on his complicated superhero costume.
He has one of those snap-on ones.
Yeah. Had a feeling this was gonna happen. Tim, you are wearing nothing under that.
oh, right, hang on.
Alfred, my suitcase.
Yeah.
Now, hang on a second, I gotta get into these. Don't start the fight yet.
You know what this feels like? It feels like an episode of Power Rangers.
Yes.
Where they just like suddenly
Yeah.
they
Something
go
important happens.
and
Like they're on a date.
in their outfits
Yep.
in like an instant.
Yeah.
But they can transform.
It's Morphin'
I
time!
know.
Yeah, they
Even
yell
then,
something.
it's more
Yeah,
time.
exactly. It's like that,
only
except
one-
this doesn't make any
The
sense.
only one that works is the Flash.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
yes.
it's because Raven talked for so long on this
That's
page.
true. There's
getting
this huge monologue.
dialogue.
They're like getting into
They're
that.
just getting
Robin's
into
like,
the clothes.
From
She's
the time
vamping.
That
Yeah.
guy turned into a skeleton. They were putting those costumes
Yeah.
on.
Sweet. This wedding should not be happening.
Oh shit.
Let's prolong it.
Thank God, I didn't want to be the one to stand up and be like, I object.
That time already passed.
Maybe Flash dressed them all.
Awkward.
Yeah.
There.
Did you see me naked?
For like an attosecond.
So
but that's
how
like a
long
year
is that
for
for
you.
you?
Could you draw me?
Oh, in intricate detail.
Oh, come on, man.
I can do you a favor. I'll make it a little bigger.
Here's the thing. I had to cop a feel too.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What? Well, you didn't feel it, so what does it matter?
Yeah.
By the way, you may want to get checked out. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
Turn your head and cough. So,
They fight.
Yeah, and then they have a stupid.
They have a stupid
the
fight.
Titans fight these skeleton creatures.
Judge and jury?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
I don't know if that's the team or if that's just one or two of them, but like that definitely
of the
gets
skeleton
mentioned.
people.
Doesn't make any sense.
Who cares?
Nothing
One
that
says
happens
all
makes any
Hellbore
sense.
needs to do is inject you with his poisons and
That's
you'll
Hellbore.
die.
Yeah,
Oh,
Hellboys.
they all have different. Then why are two of them named so specific?
Volt's electricity will burn you, Titan.
One of them has electricity. One of them has
Yeah.
Like,
so,
they're dumb.
all that matters is that the other heroes are preoccupied.
Yeah.
And
So-
all the other heroes have terrible quips.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they gotta get.
And-
even though a man was just vaporized,
Yeah,
an
there's-
innocent bystander.
Yeah, a man of the
Like-
cloth.
They don't mention it or
No.
address it in any way.
Not like fur father so and so.
Yeah.
Right, they're literally like their whole fighting style here is the like old school like RPG style where it's just like okay there's the boss I gotta clear out all the trash mobs around it because
Yep.
otherwise they're just gonna be picking away at my health here. So Raven, hang on,
Gotta take out your
just
minions.
hang on,
Yep.
because you're a video game character. Don't do anything.
Also, everyone
you
here is
stand
so
over there.
lame. Flash could take out all of them.
Yeah, but he does.
That's regular Flash?
That's friggin' Wally West, the only living Flash at this point. I mean, there's other Flashes, but who cares? But, like,
But then they wouldn't feel like they accomplished anything.
right.
Right,
Also,
he's
has
doing
to
them
get
all.
to
to
the
go
point where
take
taking
care
it
of
back
that
since
one
he saw them all
skeleton.
naked.
Yeah, that's true.
So everyone's taking on somebody else.
Yep.
It's boring because they pretty much
confusing.
defeat them in a manner of three or four panels, and then Nightwing fights evil Nightwing.
Yeah.
Darkwing?
Duck?
Yeah, is it Darkwing?
I'm you,
or
Dick.
Nightwing?
I'm your darker self.
Or-
She calls
Wouldn't be
him
there.
I think he is.
Deathwing.
Deathwing. I was like, it's some kind of wing.
You know, the dragon
Yep.
from World of Warcraft.
Yep. He comes in and causes the cataclysm, so
Yep.
that's cool.
But he-
And the cataclysm here is that they're not getting married.
No.
Oh
But he
no.
basically just says, like, you're going to be me one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You turn
you
evil.
always wanted to be Batman, and you're not Batman, so
And-
you're gonna
Well,
hate
first
yourself.
he tries to kind of pretend to be him. Like, he's just like, no, but I am you. I know that you wanted to be Batman. It's just like, dude, of course everyone wants to be
Everybody
Batman.
wants to be Batman.
Wait, that's not
Hey,
anything.
look at Flash over there. He wants to be Batman.
Yeah.
Flash-
Look,
Starfire,
fast-
she wants
fast
to be Batman.
Flash shows up. I do.
That's true, I do.
Do you want me to take out this guy, by the way? He's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His power is he's from a different timeline.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
And he has a ponytail.
Oh, they already did.
Oh, you know what?
care
I
of
took care of it. I can wake him up, though, for you if you want to feel better. So he kicks his ass. He kicks Dick.
So
He kicks Dick's ass.
Yeah.
And then Dick looks like he just shoves his ass into him.
He punches Dick so hard that the art changes. He punches the good right out of the pages.
yeah.
No, he kicks him.
He kicks him.
You're right.
The foot is in the background, but at first I'm looking at this and it looks like Dick just shot his ass so hard into the air
Yeah,
that it hit him
knocked
in
the wind out of
scream.
him.
To be fair, Nightwing is known for his buttocks.
For
Yes.
that ass, I believe.
This is true.
Sure.
Anyway, does it so well that, knocks him out.
Yeah.
Dick even picks up the knife,
Yep.
but then was just like, no.
I don't do this. I'm not
Don't
you.
kill
Drops the
people,
next
yeah.
one. There's more fighting,
Yep. They're finishing off the skeleton men.
Yep.
and it's just boring. And then the entire time, Starfire has done nothing.
She's
No,
held Corey by her
that's
hair.
Not true, clearly. It's not in the panels.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
it happens off panel, but she's all messed up.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a fight.
Yeah.
Because
Her dress is
all
ripped.
So
Yep.
something
Yeah, which
happened.
I mean, I guess could be
Corey's
partially from
watching,
the
she's like,
explosion, but like Dick's outfit wasn't destroyed from
No.
the vapors. So clearly, there's like a fight happening between her and Raven.
And she lost.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been fun to see?
Nope.
Why would
No.
you want to see that?
Just
There's
because-
all of these teammates. And look, Dick. 3 full pages of Dick fighting Dick. It's all Dick action all the
versus
time.
Dick.
Then Raven is basically just hovering over Starfire.
petting her hair.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets worse than that.
I know
much
it
worse.
does.
God, it's
She makes like a force field to keep them from fighting
Yeah.
them.
It's her
So that-
soul.
So that she can't.
So nobody can get in.
No
Yeah.
one can get in. There's a bizarre net.
She creates like a dome thing
It's
that
a-
looks kind of like a
it's
net.
And then she just like drops down to her knees in front of Starfire, and Raven is like crying and she's scared. She doesn't know what to do.
Starfire's
And then-
crying.
Starfire's crying.
Yeah.
Raven's getting more naked. You said Raven.
Yeah. Raven's getting more naked and less pink because she was a lot more pink before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now she
Well,
looks normal.
now the soul is left, so she's becoming less pink.
I guess.
Yeah. The soul is now a big dome. So
Whatever it is, she's becoming
something.
very, very weird and shiny.
Yeah.
Because these hard lines to show like how her body is.
It's supposed to show you guys like glowing.
I think the light from the dome is
Or from her power.
Or from her power
'Cause it
they're
also
all
surrounds
surrounded
them.
in this yellow aura.
Uh-huh.
It's totally
thing.
bizarre. I have no idea what's happening on these pages.
It's just an excuse to show these two chicks almost make out and
Yeah.
then kind of make out.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, because
She talks about souls.
she's just talking about
and-
how Raven is not Raven. Like Raven died,
Yeah.
And I'm somebody
and
else
I'm
now.
the soul that's just inhabiting the body of Raven, like her soul, and that's it.
But it's like the evil soul. I think it's like part of Trigon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, whatever.
Who like apparently wanted to bang Starfire.
Totally, as you can tell, because
yeah.
they totally get
Or like
together.
one of the evil there's like a bunch of souls inside
There's
of her. She's like
there's
Legion.
5 souls inside of her, I think she says.
Yeah, Trigon sired 100 children whose flesh was murdered before I was even conceived. All those dead are within me, my dear.
Oh,
They cry out
100.
with great impatience to be reborn. So it's bullshit.
It's,
And then she makes out with Starfire and puts one of the souls apparently into Starfire and says, delicious.
yeah.
Now we are truly sisters. And then she and evil Nightwing, Deathwing, leave because he's in the dome somehow.
It's
and they
really-
blast off into the space.
It's really weird that she calls her sisters after saying like, of all of the people I've taken, you're the most pleasurable. I'm like,
What?
Weird.
Yeah.
Incredibly.
You're gonna make it gross,
Because
too?
apparently, like, one of Trigon's souls, like, of the other children went into her, so it's like a soul sibling.
No, I understand
Well,
that. I meant that, like,
more than just
why would
gross.
you make it, like,
Why'd you
sexual then?
Yeah, why do you have
if
to
you're
add
gonna-
insult to injury? by
Why
making it-
wouldn't I? I'm pretty much naked. I'm grabbing and groping
But then
another
don't
naked
call him,
chick.
like, it's just like, I would
I think she took
Do I
Starfire's
care?
soul out and put another one in. So it's like taking you, Starfire, was great, and now you, person who's replaced Starfire, are like a sister.
Yes.
So it's not weird.
No, it's
It's still very weird.
No, what's
No,
weird is when
see.
she says, "Dear sweet Coriander, of all I have taken so far, you are
Yeah.
the one who pleasured me most."
Yeah, she took her, and then she put in something else because
Right.
she put a new soul in, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Where did you take
all
her?
we
I
wanted
don't
to do is see
understand.
them kiss.
Yeah,
And then
and
they
we got
did.
it.
And kiss and then nonsense.
Kiss and have them in less clothing.
Yeah.
Because there's just less dress and
yeah.
Yeah, well, it got all ripped
Raven's pretty much wearing
from the
nothing.
explosion. Yeah.
So they leave.
Yeah. Then
And
they
then
blow
they-
ass and leave.
I'll take this one.
Thank
just
God.
to truncate it.
Cool.
I'll save you the time.
Hey, who wrote this?
Everybody. This is Superman the
drew
Wedding
it?
Album #1.
Hacks.
It's done by. It's written by Dan Jurgens, Carl Kessel, David Michelini, Louis Simonson, and Roger Stern, who are all great. It's drawn by John Byrne, Terry Austin, Kerry Gamble, Murphy Anderson, Gil Kane, Bob McLeod, Stuart Immonen, Jose Marzan Jr., Paul Ryan, Brett Breeding, John Bogdanov, Dennis Janke, Kieran Dwyer, Doug Hazelwood, Tom Grummett, Dennis Rodier, Dick Giordano, Art Filbert, Jim Mooney, George Perez, Kurt Swan, Jackson Geis, Nick Cardy, Al Plastino, Barry Kitson, Ray McCarthy, Ron Friends, Joe Rubenstein, Dan Jurgens, and Jerry Ordway.
Thanks for joining us today on Good Bad Ugly. That's all the time we have.
We've
Yeah.
used up our time.
I'm sorry. The opening of the story is that like Lois Lane is in a wedding dress. You're like, oh, the wedding, right? But then it turns out that it's a ruse. She's on a plane headed back to Metropolis as part of her like drug bust expose operation, and she promised to marry the guy who's in charge of the drug operation. And now that she's realized she's like within spitting distance of Metropolis, she pulls the wool over their eyes and kicks their butts and defeats them with naught but a champagne bottle and forces the pilot to turn the plane to Metropolis Airport and land.
With the hearts around her speech bubbles, I thought she was under some sort
I
of
did
like,
as well,
influence.
but it turns out no.
And she was just acting?
It was
It was
just
just
an act.
That's how she sounds.
That was great.
So at this point in DC Superman continuity, Perry White is undergoing chemo for lung cancer, and Clark Kent is acting editor of the Daily Planet, and he doesn't have Superman powers.
And he has a ponytail.
And he has a
And he has a
ponytail,
ponytail.
and he looks horrible.
So everything's wrong.
everything is wrong.
Everything's wrong.
Superman has no superpowers, and he looks like a douche.
And
so
he and Lois are like estranged.
and he and Lois are estranged. They were engaged, or rather, he proposed,
Yeah.
and she bailed to get in touch with herself. And now she's on her way back. And so Clark broods for most of the book, and Lois returns, and she's like, "So, like, let's talk." And she missed everything that happened up until this point. So she missed the fact that like he has no powers, and the fact that like Perry's in the hospital, and all this other stuff. And what she finds out is that like when she finds out that Superman is depowered, it's because he cuts himself.
Yeah.
So she grabs a handkerchief that she knows she keeps in his pocket, but he's also hiding the engagement ring that she threw back in his face the first time he gave it to her. And when she sees it, she's like, "Oh." And he's like, "We're supposed to be together, like you and me, Lois and Clark. This is a television show with our names on it. Come on." And she's like, "Yeah," like, and she said it's a really cute little bait and switch where she says like, "Oh no, you don't. Like, I'm sorry," and she hands it back to him, and you're like, "Oh." She goes, "You're supposed to do it properly."
Yeah.
And then he asks her again, and they kiss, and like the hangers-on from the Daily Planet like peek in, they see them reconcile, and so commences the wedding of Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
So they're reconciled, they're back together. Superman works out, lets his hair flow in the breeze back in Smallville, which must suck because it means he has to fly the hell to Smallville via conventional means,
Yeah.
which must be really, really frustrating for Superman.
Wait, is he in Smallville? I thought she was visiting him.
Oh yeah, you're right. I thought he was visiting her, and then she came with him, but it does. But yeah.
No, they're visiting him because
They're
his dad's there
visiting
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Superman is working out in his apartment, trying to keep the Superman physique going because he doesn't have Kryptonian physiology anymore. So
Yeah.
he's
And it's
gonna
hilarious,
super
like
buff.
1940s, like
that's how he knows how to work out. You got to
Belts,
put on your
belt
workout
thing, yeah.
outfit, and you got to wear your workout belt. Jimmy calls up, and he's like, "Okay, so I'm ready to photograph your wedding." And Superman's like, "No, like I'm not gonna make you work on my wedding
He
day,
says,
Jimmy.
Your big important job will get in the way. And,
Yeah.
and Jimmy's like, oh, it's because I'm a Conan O'Brien style, like...
Impersonality.
I don't know what he is now.
He's
He thinks
he's a
Clark's
big shot
being
reporter.
sarcastic about
Yeah.
his big shot job.
Jimmy is really, really sensitive about his success and everyone's interpretation of it.
Yep.
And so he assumes, like Clark never would, that Clark is being a dick about it.
Yep.
Clark tries on his father's tuxedo and ruins it, which is much the delight of Martha, who throws it into the garbage.
Yeah, she said it was a bunch of rags anyway.
Yeah. And so Jimmy spends the rest of the book bitching and moaning about how Clark thinks that he's a dick
And won't let him
and won't let him photograph
the
the wedding.
Meanwhile, Lois is practicing to be an opera singer.
Oh yeah, because that's
I was
how we're
gonna say
drawing
the
her.
Archie art like shows up
Yeah.
suddenly.
Yep.
Yeah, suddenly it's an Archie comic.
And
I
the
mean, it's
idea is
basically an
that,
Archie
like,
comic
so
anyway.
Lois and her sister and her mom are talking about, like, her getting married, and Martha, Clark's mom, decides to take Lois out.
Before
And
everyone in the comments says it, why did you say that name?
meanwhile, Lois's father is a dick, like he always is, and he's complaining endlessly about how, like, he's looking for every reason to complain about Clark. Clark's a sissy. He's a liberal. He's a jerk. Like he
made her
He made her
cry.
cry. He broke up their engagement, even though
took my
she
dolly.
did. He hit my bell. But and Lois's sister, it reveals to Lois's mother that their, like, exciting, like, I don't know, pre-wedding dinner
It's
is
a bridal
the
shower.
bridal
They're
shower
planning a bridal shower.
is going to be a potluck, because apparently Emily Gilmore is Lois's mom.
Yeah, she's not happy with any of the plans. For
Man,
the
no,
bridal
nothing,
shower.
nothing looks good. It's not.
You have to have it catered.
Yeah, no.
You can have paper tablecloths and
Oh, my
like,
goodness,
what is the
everything's
theme?
wrong.
And
Yeah, and then they learn that it's fun. So
Everyone learns a little bit of a lesson
Yeah.
about being nice to old people.
so the men go out,
tuck shopping.
tuck shopping,
yep.
and what was it? Sam Lane is a complete douche about it, as you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
But there's an amazing Batman tie.
There is
that
an amazing
Bruce-
Batman that.
Clark looks at.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna wear that. Of
He's
course,
like- I'm sure he's like, really?
really?
This
There's no
is my
Superman
city.
tie.
It's branding.
Yeah. But they're getting fitted for their tuxes. Sam is a complete dick, which is hilarious because, like,
Why?
because Jonathan is just like, what a friggin' idiot. Yeah, she must be somebody important because
Oh, no, she's the fashion designer who does the
does the wedding dress
later on in the book.
So there you
I just
go.
meant
She's
to-
like, thanks. Oh yeah, no.
that's terrible.
What a wonderful tribute.
I don't know if she really. I have no idea who. I don't know if that's a real person.
It is a
or
real
not.
person.
Is it okay?
And Lois receives. She has a terrible time at a bridal shower because all the gifts she gets are in keeping with the theme, which is like home buddy,
It's
domestic
domestic
bliss.
bliss. So they're giving her, like, crock
she would
pots
never
and things she would
use.
never use. She's like, I've never cooked a day in my life. Why would I ever use this? And they're like, oh, you're gonna love it. Meanwhile,
You're gonna
Nope,
start.
you're trapped now.
Meanwhile, Clark's in some hot water because he's trying on these suits and they look terrible. And they're like, these are tester suits. You're gonna wear a real tuxedo. And he's like, oh, okay.
Oh, thank
The
goodness.
one thing I liked about that
Wah,
scene was that, like,
wah.
you get to see the difference between Lois's dad and Pa Kent, and Pa Kent's
Yes.
like, oh, I think I'm a 42 waist. And
Yes.
I'm trying to die. And they're like, you're 40. And he's like, oh, Superman knows exactly what waist size
Yep.
he is.
And,
then-
Sam, of course,
And
underestimates.
he's like, I'm 42. They're like, 44.
Wait, don't suck in.
Don't suck it
Yeah,
in. You're gonna be
46.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
46. Jeez.
It's spectacular.
Much of
course
this book
Kent
is
knows
about
what his,
how much Sam Lane
size is.
sucks.
Yes. Yeah, he is the antagonist of the story.
Yep.
Lois tries on a number of wedding dresses that range from hilarious to ooh la la, and ultimately she decides.
She also changes her hair for different dresses.
Oh, that's a good point. Because they're all drawn by different
Yeah.
artists.
Yep.
I did the same thing.
Oh, big time.
Yeah?
It took like about 7 hours to try on 3 dresses.
That I believe. Superman takes takes the engagement ring back to a jeweler to write an inscription and also to put a Superman symbol in it.
It's the same jeweler that Pa Kent got the ring from in the first place. Which I
Yeah.
was like,
That's really
"Aw."
cute.
Does that mean that he stole Martha's engagement
No,
ring?
she gave it to them.
I don't need this anymore. And Pocket's like, hey, I got you that.
I've been wearing it for 70 years.
Sometimes they get new ones.
Yes.
Maybe it doesn't fit her finger anymore.
Yeah. So Lois goes apartment shopping, which is
That's what
hilarious.
he's saying, yeah.
By the way, like they do everything. They have the parties, they do
Wait.
the wedding dress shopping, they go looking for a new place to live
it's the
together.
entire-
You're telling me that the Book of New Titans, where pretty much it goes from we're getting married to the wedding in a couple of pages where there is no transition.
Yeah, this is
this
nothing
book
but
contains
transit.
the opposite.
It's all the transition.
Exactly.
It's a little too much transition.
It's true.
What?
Because like Lois basically
We cram in a flashback.
there's a flashback to Superman actually being superheroic because there's no friggin' way anyone's gonna friggin' buy a Superman comic where he doesn't do anything.
Right.
Lois looks at a bunch of apartments. She finds the one she wants, but it's too expensive and it's too...
It's not too expensive. There's
it's
a
very
wait list.
It's very expensive, but there's also a wait list, and she can't
to
get
the
out.
year 2000.
Yeah, which is far along, which is very
Millennium.
far away.
96.
It's
I
96, so
believe.
she had a long time to wait.
Yeah. That was
4 whole years.
Yeah.
But
Siegel Electronics.
I like that.
That's cute.
But anyway, so Superman sees that the electronics store is being held up, and so he's like, well, I'm gonna have to do something
That
because.
really ponies my tail.
So he dresses as Superman, and he's like, maybe I'll just scare him into not shooting me.
Yeah.
So he shows up, and he's like, and they're like, oh, get off or I'll kill you. He's like, you can try, and he's like, yeah, and he runs away.
Like, I've never seen Superman. I'll shoot you. I know that bullets specifically don't work on against you,
but
but
maybe
I'll
kill
do
you.
it.
Yeah. So Superman.
And if he did, that would have been amazing.
So Superman chases after the Hood and then bumps into Maxima, who's always wanted to like get with Superman and accept his seed and make a super baby. And then she finds out that he has no powers, and she's like, "Ugh, you're gross." And he's like, "Yes, this is finally over." So the parents go hang out and they chat. Bibbo,
It's the bachelor party.
yeah, that's right. But I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
they're hanging
yeah,
out here.
sorry.
Yeah.
Bibbo in his bar is like setting up for the big bachelor party, and there's like a dude that like literally Bibbo owes a favor to that he physically throws out of the bar because the guy wants to just shoot pool,
Yeah.
and Bibbo's like, it's a private function, and he's like, come on man, it's Friday, I always shoot pool, and he's like, nope, not today, and he's like, come on man, and he's like, no, and then he physically throws him out of the bar.
Yep.
Which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, then the guy shows
breaks
back
his own
up.
window.
Yeah, he breaks his own window, and everyone's like, "Good for you! It's not all drafty in here at all." And so then the offended party jumps onto a motorcycle and then returns to bust up the joint.
Yep.
Along with the
With his
entire
gang.
biker gang.
Yes, and so Clark's entire like man part of the part, like Clark's
All his friends. And
friends and
relatives.
family just
Yeah.
beat the crap out of this biker
Except
gang.
for Perry.
Lois has her own bachelorette party where she gets some sexy lingerie. A dude hits on her and they push his face into some cake. And then Superman is still he's trying to get to his own bachelor party. He's late because he's Superman and he's powerless, so he's tried to stop this thing, and so he's been running. He bumps into a gang, he kicks their butts.
It's not just
No.
a gang.
Oh, you're right.
It's the ones from the beginning of the book. He
Yes.
randomly
he
encounters
bumps
them in an
into
alley.
the drug cartel who are looking to get revenge on Lois.
No, they're trying to get home.
Oh, that's
I
right,
think.
because they destroyed their their ride home.
And they escaped the police somehow.
Yeah, the
And they-
plane landed and they escaped.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
want to get Lois.
Yeah, and they want to get Lois. So Superman's like, oh no, Lois brought me up to speed at the beginning of the story, so I'll kick their butts as Superman. He tries to and then gets his butt kicked, and then Batman shows up. And
He
you're
does
like,
a really
"Hey."
good job
He
ahead
does
of
a
time.
decent
He's pretty
job.
good.
It's 1 on 3. He doesn't die immediately, so
Right.
like,
So
not that
he
bad.
holds his own. So then Batman and Superman make quick work of the rest of them, and then Batman's like, let's get out of here for a minute. So Batman like ferries him around the city a little bit,
Yeah.
and they chat about like how Superman and Lois are getting married, and Batman's like, right on, marriage.
I want
Well,
Superman
whatever.
to be like, this is how it feels?
Yeah. Wow, this is emasculating. I don't like this. I'm sorry. I'll never do this again. So, but Batman's like, no, it's good. It's good. It's good for you. Congratulations, man. It's gonna be great. And he says, like, I understand that you're gonna be going on your honeymoon, so I've made arrangements to protect Metropolis. And he's like, really? And he looks up in the sky, and everyone who's powered in any way is like watching over Metropolis during his honeymoon, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
Including the Flash who is flying, running through.
He's running along a building, a
He
rooftop.
also, Batman also. Oh, that's what happens on this.
Yeah, Batman. Well, go ahead. He's.
Well, it turns out Bruce Wayne owns the apartment that Lois wanted that had the
I think
waiting
it
list.
turns out in that he purchased.
Well, yeah, he arranges for Lois and Clark to get the
the new apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Superman's like, "What a good guy." I'm like, "Yeah, you're friends."
He's your friend.
like it's
He's been
annoying
your
where he's
friend
like,
for a long time.
"We're very different people, but Bruce is a good man." Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But he does
I
say,
never
like,
read a
He
Superman book
says that
before.
he wish he could invite Bruce to the bachelor
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, but it would look weird.
Yeah.
And Bruce would never go.
And that's
Plus,
it too.
Bruce does not want to be caught dead with like Clark's supporting cast.
he should
so-
have sent Alfred instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it becomes really awkward for the next part if Bruce was there.
That's true. So then they go to the wedding rehearsal dinner, and we get more and more about Sam Lane being a douche. Jimmy, of course, reveals that like he's like, oh, I feel really bad about this thing, and we'll get into that in a minute. But Sam Lane is a complete jackass, and then Clark's like, no, Lois broke up with me, buddy. Like, quit blaming me for
Yeah.
the thing. And he's like, no, I don't believe you. You're a jerk. And then Lois is like, dude, like, Dad, chill out, man. Like, because he's like, I'm gonna give away my daughter. I'm the only one. The wedding's gonna be about me. And Lois is like, no one's giving me away. I'm going to be walking down the aisle with my future husband. Like, Clark and I are going to walk down the aisle
Well, yeah,
together.
because she's like, you raised me
to be a man,
to
basically.
be your only son.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and would you walk your son down the aisle? And he's like, ooh, tarnation. I don't have to take this from you.
How dare you?
How dare you make
He's
this
like-
about you?
He's
So
like,
then,
wife, let's go.
yeah, and his wife's like, no.
No, I'm not missing my daughter's
I'm not
wedding.
missing my wedding. He's like, well, I will. So he leaves, and he's like, I'm not going to the wedding. I hope you have. Oh, let these sissies have their party.
And then he farts in the room and
Yep.
leaves.
Basically.
Son of a bitch,
Metaphorically,
that's
he
my
does.
move.
You forgot.
Yeah, and Jimmy is like, hey, Clark, how come you're such a dick? And Clark's like, I'm not. You're my best man, you chode. And Jimmy's like, oh.
Which if Bruce was there to see that.
Oh, man. So
My
then,
brain's hurt.
and then what's it called? Jimmy does Clark one better, where he hires his like squad of people who
camera
work for the
crew, yeah.
for the TV station to film the wedding.
Yep.
Which I guess they do. We don't get to see that. We get to check back in with Lex Luthor, who's like, "Boo! Lois and Clark getting married. Lois is a dish, but Clark, what a loser." And then we move on to Superman is getting ready, and Jimmy shows up to help him with his tie, and then it turns out it's Mixius Pitlick, and he's like, "Nah!" Like
All his rogues gallery has to show up.
yeah, or at least we got to check in on two of them.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll be in the books later. You better get your powers back
Get
by
ready.
then."
Get ready. I'm gonna make trouble after the. I'll wait.
Yep, I'll wait for the wedding is over.
And then we're in for some shit.
Yeah, you're in for a really boring or a silly story.
Okay. Bye.
So then, and then, and Superman reveals, or rather, like the next day, the day of the wedding, is revealed that Superman cut his hair. So he
Yeah.
looks like
So it
friggin'
looks
Superman again.
normal.
Yeah.
Finally, it was a
God.
long time coming, and he still doesn't have powers, but whatever. And then
That's how he was able to cut his hair.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So then, Superman and Clark and Lois like walk down the aisle, and then the big moment is ruined because Sam sneaks into the wedding and watches, and he asks like, "Is
Becomes
this?"
a distraction.
Yeah, he becomes a distraction. Everyone's like, "Oh, draw your attention away from the bride and look over there at the father of the bride who's actually going to be here," and he's just beaming with pride as much as he can.
Yeah,
which
so
is
everyone's looking at me. It's all about me.
yes.
Thank God.
I thought maybe like if I wasn't there, then how would I know that I caused a distraction? So then they get married, and it's nice. And we get a kind of homage to the death of Superman, where we do the exact same thing that when he died, except instead they're kissing, and it's Superman and Lois kissing.
Yeah.
And then they kiss some more.
and they
And
kiss some
and
more.
they're kissing there too. It's
Yeah.
a close up of them.
And I'm sure like the entire editorial staff or people who worked
Yeah.
on the book are all being drawn here. And the final story is a way more new. It's actually 10 years later than this.
Yeah, this is the new Avengers Annual, which shows Jessica Jones and Luke Cage on the front getting married.
Yeah,
And that technically happens in this book.
right. It technically occurs.
That
Like,
is something
This happens.
that does occur.
It bookends
Mm-hmm.
this story. This should
Yeah.
also be called, and then the Avengers fight the Super Adaptoid,
Yeah.
and also,
They get married.
They
There's
get
also a
married.
wedding,
Yes.
but mostly
but
they
mostly,
fight the super adaptoid.
there's a big fight.
But at least it doesn't interrupt the wedding.
No, it doesn't. This opens up with Yelena Black Widow, all like messed up, and
Because Sauron burned her alive in the Savage Land.
there you go.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And this
Nice.
dude shows her like the X-Men cartoon show, and says like, "Hey, I know you like said yes to like all of my offers and all that stuff about like making you better and stuff like that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you the powers of like an Adaptoid, and like you'll be able to make yourself look beautiful again, but also like seek revenge on the new Avengers, because that one happened in this book.
Yeah.
That's all that
They
happens in this book.
somehow they were responsible for Sauron burning her.
It's funny.
Yeah,
I know
that's
I
the first arc. We did Breakout. That was
I read the new Avengers. I don't remember that at all.
yeah. They go to the Savage Land. The indigenous people are being forced into mining vibranium.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
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 And Sauron shows up, and they shoot him, but he absorbed Wolverine's healing factor, and then he like jumps up and just burns her with his fire breath.
Right? Okay. So anyway, back at Avengers Tower, which also has the Sentry Tower like built
Yep, Watchtower's on top.
of it. Like it's like in it, but also almost like it's weird.
It's weird.
Anyway, Jessica Jones shows up with her baby and like all of her stuff, and is like super pissed at Luke, who's just like, hey,
It's like, oh
Hey,
hey,
what's up?
oh, were
Hey,
you
what's
moving
up?
today?
oh. I think she was just running errands.
I think she was.
And like everyone's there and no one is helping her with anything.
Yeah,
It's
Nope.
pretty
It's like,
amazing.
oh, your baby's adorable.
They're literally just eating like cereal and random foods and just hanging out in their costumes and all of
Yep.
that, and like
Hey, it's Avengers Tower. Cool.
Luke's like kind of like, yeah, what are you playing for? You got powers.
Yeah,
and
you
she's
got
like,
super strength.
So then Mary
gesture.
Jane takes the baby, and Spider-Man's like,
Oh no. Hopefully she won't remember her miscarriage. Oh, she doesn't?
so then like
Convenient.
all the girls in Spider-Man look at the baby. And
I
talk
really
about
like that.
How adorable it is.
I was
Oh,
like
except
Mary
for
Jane not
Jessica
being
Drew.
interested in the baby too. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is a
yeah.
baby. Yeah. You want a baby? No.
I
I want
wanna-
you to look at this baby.
Until it is about to throw up, and then I give it back. And he's like, great,
Sounds good.
I love you.
I mean, unless you want to practice. If you want to practice, let's
Yeah.
practice having
No
a baby.
trouble having practice with Mary Jane.
Yeah, she calls him a child, basically. It's
Yeah, I have a baby. His name's Peter.
He's like,
Hey.
you can't see me making this face, but I
Yeah.
am. But regardless, like, she's kind of sitting there, and clearly she's been had a lot of time to think because in a previous issue, or Luke had proposed to her, and
Yes.
she has not answered. And he's just like, you okay? You good? And she just says yes, and he's just like, what do you mean yes? And she's just like, yeah, I'll marry you. And like, Luke has like the best face.
I love that face.
Yeah. Like, he's just so excited, and he like screams out that they're getting married. Everyone's like, yay! And she's like, why did you do that? No, what? No, why would you?
So you won't go back on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't do that.
Oh yeah.
No,
No.
yeah, except that one time.
You're a stable person, Jessica
Exactly.
Jones.
So then Tony Stark rolls in, doesn't give a crap about what's going on. It's just
Yep.
like, Steve, I need you. And
Yeah.
he's like, in costume, he's like, yep.
Big time.
And Sentry, you too, because the mayor's here, and you guys gotta, come on, it's time to razzle-dazzle them.
So literally Michael Bloomberg shows up. Former mayor of New York City.
Yeah.
Yep, and they're talking about Avengers Tower, and like the Sentry's like, clearly you're upset because the Sentry Tower's on, but it's fine. I thought I might take you around and show you there. And like, Tony's at the whole, like, before that was like, don't talk too much, Bob, because
Yep.
you're kind of nuts. So like, just, you're
Cool
like,
it.
you're a loose cannon superhero, and we
Yep.
don't need that.
Yeah, you're practically under arrest. You're not really a member of the team.
Yeah, you're just
here so
here.
if you go crazy, we can like get you
Right
faster.
away. And then Tony notices like a beautiful woman in the crowd, but like he's clearly annoyed because his brain has told him, you know her.
Yes.
But hasn't
he's
made the
like,
connection.
Pretty girl, must look.
Yeah, he must look, but then he gets this like, she says hi, and he's like, do I know you? And immediately she takes her sunglasses off, and he's just like, oh no.
And then he gets a confusion boner.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure I know you.
Yeah.
Oh, damn
Right?
it.
And then like the rest of the crew is just hanging out like in Avengers Tower, like in the common room, I suppose.
It's a big penthouse. I've seen that. I've
Right?
seen every
It's huge.
aspect of
it's
that.
It's absolutely huge. And like they hear this like crash essentially, and like outside the window, the Sentry just goes toppling down.
No, up.
Well, he's falling
Oh, is it?
down from having been up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought he was being kicked up.
Oh, I
Where it's
thought
like,
he'd been kicked.
whoop.
I thought they had gone in, but maybe not.
No, they don't go in. It's
No.
just from the street.
Yeah, they just look out the window and his
And he's like,
body is like.
they're like, that's high. He got kicked
Yeah, they're like, what
high.
floor are we on?
Yeah.
36.
That's
Oh,
a lot of
that's
floors.
really funny. Because the way that debris.
No, I know. It's just he's.
See, that's why I thought he was falling down.
Yeah.
See,
I think it's a lot of
I don't
debris.
know.
I think it's just a
But
huge.
then they would have seen him go up.
Or they got.
I think they're
Yeah.
seeing
There
him go
should have been
up.
a panel of him going up, and then a panel of him falling
Yeah.
down.
Well, it says boom and they shake a little bit. I assumed that when he got hit, he got smacked into their building. And like that's the debris and him falling
get-
afterwards.
I didn't really care.
It's very unclear.
No, it doesn't matter.
All that matters is that the Avengers assemble.
Yeah,
Yay.
they
That's
see
the
the
point.
Sentry falling.
The Avengers assemble.
Something happened.
Spider-Woman grabs Wolverine and ferries him down safely, even though he's Wolverine.
Well, he could just throw his body down there, die, and then get back
he'll
up.
be fine. And like in the midst of like all of this debris and Captain America and the Mayor and the Sentry is this person who now kind of looks like Sentry,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I guess.
it's Yelena, and like she
Yeah.
clearly takes on like the attributes of that individual, including their costume.
And physical appearance.
Question mark.
a
The
little
physical
bit.
appearance I kind of buy.
Yeah,
The
but the-
costume, I'm like.
I think it's
Yeah.
just manifesting the
It's
Sentry's
just,
powers.
yeah, but it's also to show you.
Yes,
like,
she got the
who was
Sentry.
what.
Does the Sentry do that? Does he produce his costume from himself, or is it just cloth?
I assume because she's an
cloth.
adaptoid, and the adaptoid in the
it's a
first
visual
picture
cue
looked
for
like
the
all of the
readers.
other Avengers combined.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a
Yeah, the adaptoid
It's like
can do that.
biological
That's what it
costume.
is.
think
It's, like,
it's
it's basically like skin changing.
It's
Yeah.
to assist us to understand.
Yes.
And to make her
It's a
look cool.
device.
But anyway, so Ms. Marvel goes in, initially hits Yelena hard, and immediately she puts together what it is they're fighting. And
Like, she's one of the only Avengers there.
yeah, exactly. So like as she's like holding Yelena down, you can see like the mask forming on her face and all of that. Like she's like, Avengers, don't, no.
Don't
Get
touch her.
Yeah,
Yep.
get away. It's a large reactor leak. Very
Very
large.
dangerous.
Yeah, but
but-
it's too late.
It's too late. They all jump in there.
I was already in
simultaneously.
midair.
Throw
What do you want me to
themselves
stop
out of
myself in
the
midair?
Theoretically, Spider-Man Spider-Sense really should have gone off.
Yes.
whatever.
He's never fought the super adaptoid before.
Doesn't matter.
I know, you're right.
So they all get like.
Well, the adaptoid adapted his sense to negate.
He would have to touch her
his,
first.
and-
Had
Yeah,
to
I
touch
don't
him.
know.
She had to
Touched him
touch
yet.
him.
Yeah.
So she smacks them all away, but in doing
Handy
so,
people.
She hits them in one hit. She gets 4 people's powers.
yep,
So
just
she
blam,
wham.
done. And but she wants Captain America.
Yeah. For
so
some reason.
Because she hates him.
She says she's got a thing for him.
yeah, she does. She got a thing for him.
Okay.
She wants that fine American ass. But Cap has the mayor in the car and he's driving away. Like that's Cap's like priorities: mayor, car, drive, go. And she's running along the rooftops and she's like,
Great. That's a great panel.
It is
Yeah.
a fucking. It's
That
phenomenal
captures
panel.
perfect motion.
Yeah, it really, really does. It's so well done. And so she springs into action. I think stops the car by like slamming into the ground and
Yeah.
causing there to be some sort of like whoop.
Explosion.
Yeah. And then the sentry shows up and it's just like, hey, you threw me.
Yeah.
No
I
more
like
of that.
It's not cool.
It's not happening anymore. And then she immediately sends him flying yet again.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And,
I really thought I had it that time.
Right?
right? So then she like makes out with him to take more of his powers, which anyone who knows the Sentry is like, yeah, this is a bad move on all parts here. So the Adaptoid is having her way, or Elaine is having her way with the Sentry, just knocking him here and there. And like, Carol Danvers is like, I got this, because she can absorb powers as well. So like now they're in like this absorbing fight basically, right? Because she's like, you're gonna try to absorb my powers, but I'm gonna get my powers back from you and be super powerful, and they're just gonna
Yeah,
start
I'll double my power.
Exactly. So then, like, Iron Man shows up, and, like, this is where I was just like, I don't know. Like, Peter realizes that it's an adaptoid based on what Carol said, and, like, he starts talking about, like, how the biological neural network memory thing works, right? And, like, how, like, at the end of the day, Iron Man isn't going to be able to fight her on his own, so what he ends up doing is going back
Yeah.
and getting all of his suits.
Right, because it's like maybe I can overload it.
Yeah.
Like if she can, if like maybe she'll run out of friggin' room.
Right.
Because like if she fought one of me, she'd get my powers. But if she fought 10 of me, would she get 10 of my? Would she get 10 versions of my
Or
powers?
just too much.
or like 10 levels of my powers?
But he doesn't have any powers.
Spider-Man?
No, Iron Man.
Iron
Man.
Man. The Adaptoid can absorb like electronic
Energy, I
powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she could actually become an Iron Man.
Right?
I see.
So then, like, the plan is that, like, everybody's gonna, like, work to distract
her,
her.
yeah.
And so, like, Spider-Man does his Spider-Man thing by, like, quipping at her and, like, riding her because he's like, I'm pretty sure you're new to flying, so you're gonna be bad at it. And it totally works.
Yeah!
Yeah, exactly. And then he, like, I love this, like, kung fu.
He like
Bruce
kicks her
Lee.
in the butt, which
Yeah.
I was like, what?
It's a little weird.
It's very weird.
Kabram. And then he runs off, and Cap shows up, which, I mean, he really wouldn't have known the plan. I guess they've got communicators.
They have communicators.
So he knows, I guess he does know the plan then. And I like this panel too.
I do too.
Yeah.
Of him like running. And she's like, ooh,
There he is.
that's the
Yeah.
one I want. So, you know, she goes after him, and then Jessica Drew shows up and like flashes her, and like she thinks that now she's got Jessica Drew, and then of course that's for the time where they do a fastball special where Carol takes Wolverine and like
Throws him at
Yep,
her.
exactly. And Wolverine knocks her off balance and then rolls away, and Spider-Man catches it. It's a perfect distillation of the Avengers working
Yeah,
together.
they actually
Yeah.
worked. It's one of the few times it actually happens.
Yeah, like they're like, here's the plan, let's all work together while Iron Man does his other thing, so we're gonna help him. So then like all these Iron Man suits show up, and Tony's like controlling them in this like cool meditative state. And like the rest of the Avengers are like, let's just see how this plans out.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing we can do about this.
Well, I don't want to get in the middle of that.
Right?
Yeah.
So inevitably the plan doesn't work.
Yes.
And like she takes the power of Iron Man, but then she just destroys all the suits basically.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when the Sentry shows up because she's having like a freak out, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, you must have not read it up on me." Because like with the power of the Sentry, every good that the Sentry does or anything the Sentry does has to be answered by the Void. So now you have the Void, which is going to rip you apart.
Right. 'Cause
So-
you're not built like me.
You better just stand down, and I'll take it away.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, Pop Reynolds should be like, you just have it.
Yeah. Why don't you keep the void?
It's cool, and that's fine. It's totally cool. So like she does stand down because she can't handle the void. She can't handle having it inside of her, and they get a hold of her. One of the Iron Man suits does, and that's when the unseen or the mystery man, who was working with the beekeepers.
It's AIM.
I know it's AIM.
They are
No,
beekeepers.
They are beekeepers though. Tells them to pull the plug, and like they activate these like explosive essentially inside of her and blow her up.
Yeah, because she was gonna give away.
Yeah, she was gonna,
information
because they
about
wanted to know. Like Wolverine was like, "Tell me what you know."
Who sent you? Where
Yeah.
they are?
Yeah.
Wolverine
She's
gets
like,
right to
no,
the
I
point.
can't tell you, but she's so tortured.
No, okay.
Yeah, the void is getting to her too much.
Yeah, she's about to crack, so they're like, oh.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I said Wolverine gets right to the point, and then I said,
Oh.
I didn't hear the snick
to the
whatsoever.
Yay.
So anyway, she blows up. They're all kind of like, wow. And they look at the Sentry like it was his fault.
Yeah.
And then immediately Tony Stark lays into Jessica Drew because of her ties to Hydra.
And how, like,
Yeah, tell us what
because
you
she's
know.
a triple agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like she's working for everybody, and then like
So she's a dancer, a singer, and an actor?
right?
That's a triple threat.
Yeah. So then everybody leaves except Cap and Jessica Drew, and he's just like, he didn't mean that, and she's like, yeah, but he did.
Yeah, but you're a secret Skrull queen anyway, so
Right?
shut up.
And then the issue's like, hey, remember when Luke Cage proposed to Jessica Jones? Remember the cover
Yeah.
Yeah.
of this issue?
Yeah.
Well, here it is.
So now
there
it's
we
their
go.
wedding day, and Stan Lee is presiding over their wedding.
Yep.
And we're pretty much just at the part where it's just kind of like, do you. And it's
Yeah.
cute, because I think Steve is his best man,
I think so. I don't know
and
that.
Carol's her
like, maid of honor.
It's hard to tell, because I can't tell if everybody's just standing.
I don't think anyone is anyone's
Okay.
anything.
They're just
It's
hanging out.
They're
I think they're
very
just there.
upfront, and then these people look like they're
They
standing.
are all they're all members of the wedding party, because we see they take a wedding photo and like
That's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're pretty much ready to go, and then like Jessica has to say like that she'll that yes, like I will, and then like the what's his name? Not minister.
Officiant?
Yeah, the officiant.
Because he might be a minister. I don't know. The Stan Lee there.
Lee.
Stan Lee says like all right, cool. She said yes, and Jessica's like wait,
and everyone's like, oh my god.
Uh-oh.
and she's like
Jessica
no.
Jones gonna drop the F-bomb.
Right. She's just like, literally her thing is she's just like, what we just said, everyone said. But like, I want you to know why I'm marrying you. And she just goes into this whole thing about like how much she loves him and how much like he completes her and how like she's a better person for knowing him and being with him. And like, it doesn't matter what happens to them. Like, they'll always be together and they'll always like, they'll be better for it.
Yes.
And like, they can conquer anything. And that like, she's like, that's it. Like,
Okay.
And
This is
Stan's
a-
like, you good? Yeah.
yeah, it's
Excelsior.
just, basically she's just like, it's a big weird world. And like, I love you.
You're right.
That's it. And he's just like,
Cool.
he's got this big dopey grin on his face.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Are you done?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good." And they get married and they kiss, and then there's a big picture at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few like calm, cool, fun stories from New Avengers where everything works out.
Right?
Even though it
Before
wasn't
everything
about
goes
to.
to shit.
Like immediately.
Yep.
So it's really nice.
But they'll always have that moment.
I want to believe that this photo's somewhere in someone's office.
Right? Yeah. 'Cause
But,
it's a really cute photo.
It is really nice.
It's really nice. But like, it's funny because it's not.
It's not really what the book's about.
But it's also
Really
like the
about
inverse
that.
of the Superman one, where it's like it's all about the wedding, and I guess there's a
Uh-huh.
fight. And this one's like,
Yeah.
no, it's a fight, and there's also a wedding in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you have it. 3 very different
very
weddings.
different.
Very.
So the question
I
is,
love that we got one where a supervillain does the thing.
break
Yeah.
up the wedding.
Messes up the wedding.
Yep. So the question is, which one's the good, which one's the bad, and which one's the ugly? What do you guys think?
New Avengers was the good for me.
Me
Like,
as well.
Hands down. It was a great story, and I loved the interaction between Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
The Superman wedding album actually kind of made me tear up a little bit.
Oh.
But New Avengers is clearly the better comic.
So, okay. Yeah. Now, see, that's where I have to disagree. It's the better comic. It's
Yeah.
not a wedding issue.
No.
They get married in it.
This is only a wedding issue. It's
Yeah.
called the wedding album,
But
and
you know
there's
what I mean?
nothing but wedding
Like,
in this.
Yeah.
They
It's too much of a wedding.
they
issue,
just
though.
Yeah.
they get married, but like
Yeah.
that's not what the story's about.
No.
No.
Titans wins the ugly by default,
Yeah.
Except I didn't vote for it.
Right. But me and
but 3 beat you.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Because you gotta at least give the stats. You always do it when Ben doesn't agree with us.
That's fair. I mean, like, listen, New Titans, like, I get you. Like, I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
Woof.
Well, it's just not. It's not a book for you.
it's not for me.
No.
Like,
Not
but,
for me.
But like that's what like the Titans has this.
I can imagine it's very much like other Teen
They're-
Titans.
they're-
Was Dick always like that, though?
No.
don't know.
He's completely out of character.
That's what I'm saying. Like I assumed
that's what I'm asking
something-
Tiffany about, like,
I don't
there's a
know. I
reason.
didn't read Titans.
There's a reason for
I
it,
just knew
probably.
to expect that. Like
Yes.
I was like going into this. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what it's. I get it.
Everyone acts like an insane person in this book. This is nice, and I don't want to call it bad. You know what I mean? In terms of like the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that. But
This
there,
is a confusing episode.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there you have it. But we'll see you
But
guys
hey,
next time.
weddings are beautiful and
That's
confusing
true,
things
yeah,
sometimes.
that's right. Yeah.
Unless your
An alien.
minister gets turned into a skeleton.
Right.
In which case, it's not very nice at all.
Well, it could be confusing though.
You know, it's interesting. This technically isn't a wedding issue. Or, well, it's a wedding issue, but like they don't end up married at the end.
No. Yeah,
other
only
two
two of them
do.
actually
They
do
don't
have a
actually
wedding.
complete the wedding. You know, it's almost a good thing this happened because it stopped Dick and
From making a
Chloe
terrible
from
mistake.
making the worst mistake of their lives.
It wouldn't be a terrible. What?
Because they would have just had to get divorced, and that would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of space divorce do you have to go through? And then,
And not only that, but like then you have like future Dick ending up with Raven,
yeah.
What?
Well, yeah. Deathwing.
Deathwing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they're together.
Are they together?
I didn't get that.
Some-
I mean, I
Future.
assume.
Isn't he from another place?
He's from a different, like,
But he
Earth.
says you'll become me.
Yeah, he says like he's from the
'cause-
future.
Well,
He's
no.
from another dimension where in the future that's
That's what happens. And he assumes
yeah.
that every Dick Grayson must follow that path.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he's assuming incorrectly.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next time with another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Yeah.
I like that we don't care about the wrong box in this one because
It's not going to happen.
No. It's
No one's
definitely
going to
not
vote
wrong
for
box.
it.